phrase. That's why you've heard that shit so more. But when you make it your goal to find a goal worth suffering for, you're going to suffer, right? And so it's in your language.
I got my wish.
And you got your wish. And what's happened is this part of you is so strong, brother. This part of you is too, but this is the lead right now.
Sure.
If you change the lead to here,
That's huge. He's talking about leading from the heart to leading from the mind. And that's a great advice for Alex Hormozi.
that sense of connection and everything else, and get the hell out of your head, because your brain is always going to reduce things. It's like your brain will never make you happy. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You won't even like enjoy an apple, is it organic? It's like your brain is analyzing so much. You got so stuck up here that you're missing this magnificent human being that I see in front of me.
Wow. Yep. It's like, look, you're missing, like, to shine, really, the magnificent human being that you are when you're not leading from the heart. And now that's half true, because the heart can be deceitful. And even in Jeremiah, it tells us to not lead from the heart, to not trust in the heart. You gotta trust God with all your heart, and to love God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength, with all your soul. That's very different.
Here, you're missing the joy of him. So stop this getting over suffering for.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
So with the, like, get out of your head, get into your heart.
Yes.
I love the language. I don't understand what it means.
I know, because right now you're in your head still.
Interesting. Yeah, he's like, I like the idea of it, of like going from the head to the heart, but I don't know what it means. Yeah, because he's not connected to the feminine, and Layla is not helping him much.
Because by the way, you laugh like this. What, do you feel the difference? Like this guy right here who's smiling at me right now. Is that a different guy?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do this.
Okay.
I have multiple parts of me. Most of us in life try to pretend we're one thing. Society makes you try to pretend you're one thing. I'm sure your wife has multiple.
Tony's about to try to expand his awareness of himself. And not even Tony knows the 13 subtle bodies. I really wish he would read the 13 subtle bodies. It would help him tremendously. He'll make a ton of connections. But he's going to try to even get him to understand that we are like multiple parts. Maybe he'll try to explain, you know, that we're body, soul, and spirit. Let's see.
Personalities. My wife sure does. When I first met her, I'd have a conversation. She'd be talking about, like, who is this person over here, right? I had to come up with different names. And look at the smile on your face. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Heart.
But I started naming the parts of my wife, so I knew what I was talking about. Right? There's one pearl, there's Satan. There's some names I can't tell you that are very...
It's Friday night. It's Tuesday morning.
But the point of that is, we as humans try to reduce ourselves for simplicity's sake, and society does to one thing. It's easier to manage, right? There are many parts of you.
Yeah.
So what's the part of this guy that's so intellectual that, you know, he's going to suffer and he's...
Yeah, he's like, if I go into like soul and stuff like that, he won't get it. Like, let me try to relate it to his own way of understanding things. So he's trying to even get an idea of how he processes things so that he can get understanding. Wow, very cool interaction.
And, you know, he's going to get it done anyway. It's not this guy right here. This guy like this guy here. This guy's is this guy different?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just shifted just like that, right? So who's the guy who's in his head all the time and is analyzing? Oh, he's brilliant, by the way. He's absolutely effing brilliant. And he can succeed in anything if that's that. What's that guy's name? Give me a nickname for that guy. One that maybe would make you
Alex.
laugh.
There you go.
What's
Analytical Alex.
Interesting. He made him detach from that part by having Alex give it a name. He's like, okay, this part of me, it's called Analytical Alex. He's like, okay. And then what's this other guy? He's going to try to name that other part that's more emotional, that's more in his heart.
Analytical what?
Analytical Alex.
Okay, analytical Alex. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay? Who's this guy who was just laughing with me, looked over his wife, big smile on his face. Your smile is infectious, right? You know, and this is you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so who is this guy?
Anabolic Alex.
Anabolic.
Anabolic Alex. That's so funny that he would name it that.
So Anabolic Alex has so much life in him. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you what happens is, think about a relationship. Try it that way. Most people get in a relationship, and I always tell people, the secret to a relationship, 80% of having a great, lasting relationship or an intimate relationship is selection. And people will say to me, well, shit, why didn't you tell me that before? I was married for 10 years. I said, no. I don't mean who you select. Who you select to be in this relationship. So in the beginning of a relationship, what do most people do in the very beginning of a relationship? What will they do for the other person?
Yeah, best behavior, all that kind of stuff.
Anything.
Yeah,
Lighting them up lights you up. There's no transaction value. You're not trying to see what you can get. Like your joy is making joy for them, right?
Yeah.
And you give your all. You dress properly, or whatever properly.
Yeah.
But I mean, you get the idea. You give your best foot forward. Then people get married sometimes, and after a certain number of years, they forget, and they bring a different person to the table who's always analyzing. Like, what did you do versus what I do? And they're measuring. That's a transaction. No one wants to be part of a transaction in an intimate relationship. And when
Yeah, that's a great advice too. It's like nobody wants to have transactional relationships, and most relationships that become transactional are why they're not founded in love.
you do a transaction, it's not fair anyway, because in a relationship, it's like a team sport. You're climbing a mountain. Who's leading and who's following changes as you're climbing a big mountain. Right? You can't lead the whole damn time. You'd love to, but you can't. You got to switch off, right, to make things work. So it's like, which part of you?
It's interesting that Tony Robbins is speaking like mini fractals of polarity.
You select to do business with. Which part of you is going to run your business? And so many of your viewers, I see people different than you. They'll be like, oh, I know I need to fire this person. I need to let go of this. I got to do this, but I just can't hurt them. I was in that stage at one stage of my life. And if you put that person in charge of business, you're going to fail, right? Because you're going to be taking care of this person and hurting your platinum players, right? Hurting your clients, right? So it's like we all have to pick the person we're going to be and be conscious of that. And in your case, my friend, it's not so you can succeed, because this will make.
Yes and no, because we don't really choose the identity. He's trying to tell him that we choose the identity, and it's like we choose it, but before we even chose it, like God already created us and predestined us. Wow.
You succeed. I have a strong one here too. But if I let this thing take over, I would be bored shitless. I'd be like, okay, I got 5 sports teams, and I got $1 billion, and I got this business, that business, and everybody tells me every day I'm the greatest thing in their life, and I changed their life, and I got 5.
This is amazing. Yeah, he's like, look, like all of this stuff is vain. Like this is probably the phase that Solomon had when he was like, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. That's amazing. That honestly, it's gold right there. Already worth you watching the video with this part. My goodness.
Kids, and like, where's the meaning of my life?
Yeah.
That's what the brain does, because the brain reduces everything and compares it, whereas the heart magnifies everything.
Yeah, he's right about that. And that's what he also discovered with Jim Rohn and with NLP and things like that, is that your brain generally does 3 things. It distorts, it generalizes, and it deletes information.
It takes the little things that makes them bigger. What made you attracted to your wife when you first met her? By the way, who's this guy right here? Anabolic Alex, right?
The honest truth was that I once I met her, I didn't want to not be with her.
Yes, why? What qualities about her did you not want to?
Yeah, see what he just said right there. That's really awesome. Like you can tell that he obviously loves her.
Be without?
I think she let me be me.
Yeah, she loved.
Yeah, she let her be him. That's one of the reasons why they're also really still together, even though their love is not necessarily founded in Christ. Because she does a really good job as a wife of letting him just be however he wants to be and supporting him. Like Layla supports Alex amazing. Like in that regard, she's an amazing wife. But too bad she is not in her feminine a lot of the time.
You for being you.
Yeah, she just never tried to change me. I think that was what was so unique.
That's quite miraculous. I'm fortunate of the same thing. I found that Sage loved me not because I was Tony Robbins, she just loved me. I never experienced that before, right? So what else about her besides the fact that she loved you unconditionally?
She also loved the same stuff that I loved.
Yes.
And so when we talked, we just wouldn't stop. And I feel like it has been one very long conversation. We spent two weekends apart since the day we met.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's
Like
awesome. They only spent 2 weekends apart since they have met. Like they always together too, like 24/7. Like that's how I believe soulmate relationships should be. And I believe they are soulmates.
In literally the same place.
Does she bring out analytical Alex or anabolic Alex?
We work together, so she sees both sides.
I'm not asking that. I'm saying, can she bring out if she
Oh,
wants?
she can bring out whoever she wants.
That's right. That's her power. Right? But who does she want more?
Oh, she for sure wants anabolic.
Yes, of course. Because look at this man before me. This.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even he is saying on camera and to millions of people, like, my wife prefers when I'm in my heart, when I'm not in analytical Alex.
You're a different man right now when we started here, right? Can you feel that?
Yeah.
I didn't do shit. This is you. But if you don't identify, like, think about it. The strongest force in the human personality, for any human being, you and me doesn't matter. The strongest force is that we need to stay consistent with the way we identify ourselves, right? Identity.
Wow, Tony there just dropped a massive bomb. That's one of the reasons why he's amazing. Look at that. Look what he just said right here.
Matter. The strongest force is that we need to stay
the strongest force is that we need to stay
consistent with the way we
consistent within the way we
identify ourselves.
Identify ourselves. This is something I teach inside the 14th Body of Christ book. The image that you place in your spirit and that you submit to determines your identity, and that's what gives you the drive to stay consistent. Wow.
Right? Identity is the controlling force of human being. If you are of identity that says,
there you go. He has understood that identity is the controlling force of human being. Whatever you believe you are, that's what's going to be. And tons of people have, cited the verse from Proverbs, the one that says, and as a man thinketh, so is he.
as I always find the way to victory. You'll find the victory. If you're Lance Armstrong and they say, oh, by the way, you have cancer in your brain, in your lungs, and in your testicles, which is inconvenient as you ride a bike, right? What does he say? He says, I'll find a way. What do some people say? Their belief is, well, I'm not the effect of things. Life controls me. What makes people, by the way, miserable is when they feel events control them versus they control events. And all it is a shift in here and here, right? So Lance had that belief system and he found the way and lived strong.
Yeah.
But he also said, I'm going to find a way to win using drugs that were illegal, right? And so it cost him his reputation, but he won all these things, right? So your identity is everything. And so you have to be careful because very often in life, we identify to who we were a while ago. Like someone in an event do something, go, I'm not that kind of person.
Yes. If you don't know the right identity, you will screw up your life.
Well, when did you decide what kind of person you were? 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago? Would you use a phone from 10 years ago? You'd be an idiot. Why would you use the same old identity? I'm not saying get rid of it, I'm saying let's expand it. And in you, I don't have to teach.
He's like, I'm not saying get rid of your identity, I'm saying expand it. And Jesus is like, no, you need to die to yourself. And Galatians 2:20, it's no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. It says, I am crucified with Christ. Very different, my friends. Tony Robbins hasn't understood the gospel, sadly.
You shit. You've done everything you do. But what I can offer you is a conscious choice to find anabolic Alex, like you've already mentioned there, and put him in charge.
Running breaks your
Oh my
joints.
goodness.
Tai Chi builds them back. After 50,
Your level of happiness, and stop your hypnosis. You hypnotize yourself a long time. It's time to transcend. Transcend means end the trance. Whatever you say to yourself over and over again, people, you tell like
Transcend, says Tony Robbins, means end the trance. That's great because he's realizing there's a level of dreaming and being asleep.
enough, loud enough, long enough, sooner or later people believe you. You told yourself a lie, fuck happiness. No, fuck suffering. That's what you gotta be doing with. Fuck suffering. Like, I'm gonna engage in enjoyment. It's not my duty, it's my gift. It's my honor. It's my opportunity. It's grace that has put me in this point of my life. Think all the people you've met. You and I both have busted our ass. We wouldn't be with that. But we've also had grace in our life. There have been, your woman is grace in your life. My woman is grace in my life.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing. Tony Robbins believes that his wife is grace, like in his life. And that's beautiful. And, Alex believes the same thing too. That's why he looked at Layla there. That's great. That's a beautiful thing to remember about the feminine.
We say, listen, I got my wife because of karma. I helped tens of millions of people worldwide.
No, Tony Robbins, you didn't get your wife because of karma. You got her because of grace.
And that was my reward right there, And that makes me smile like you're smiling, because I really believe it's true. So it's like those little shifts, they set, I teach something called transformational vocabulary. It's one of the simplest things in the world. I was in a meeting when I was probably younger than you. I was probably 32. And I was two other partners who were very wealthy, super successful, one worth $1 billion, another very, very close to it, but very different personalities. And we're three of us were partners in a certain deal. And I won't bore you the details, but I'll give you the core. The core was, we went in negotiation, and I'm an open book, as you can probably tell. I'm open to claim to be right about everything, but I'm going to share what I believe, right? Certain areas I know, just like you know, right? Because of my life experience. But when negotiation for me, I was like, F negotiation. Let's just put our cards on the table. I want to be able to do business with somebody who's honest. I'm going to tell you the whole thing. Let's do something fair, right? But if you go to certain people, if they don't fight for it, they feel like they want to do business, right? They want to feel like they beat you, right? So I go on this negotiation without telling my partners. I opened the door and I told them the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I said, I think this is a deal that would work. I want a deal that's more than happy for you because I'm the kind of guy that'll do a deal, and then afterwards I give a person a little bit back even if they agreed to it. Just that's like I told you for 20 or 30 years. I was generous, right? So I'm trying to be generous. But if you're trying to be generous with a shark, I'll take your arms. Right? So I'm this 32-year-old kid. I'm not realizing you're much more sophisticated at your age than I was at mine. And so I tell the guys all this stuff, thinking, okay, let's come together. We're perfect. Let's put it together. Long term, who cares? As long as we respect each other, we're gonna crush this opportunity, right? And the other side, without giving you all the word details, takes it, uses it, and tries to manipulate us with leverage to make a deal that was far worse than we should be in. So I'm effing pissed. I'm angry as hell. I'm pissed off. I'm frustrated. One of my partners goes apeshit. He's like, I'm furious. He said, I'm enraged. Achilles at first. And he was so intense that even though I was pissed off, I was like, hey, it's not that bad, right? I'm trying to calm him down. Well, I'm trying to calm him down. And notice my other partner he's not even moved by this thing. Like, he doesn't seem slightly upset. It's almost upset me. You know, like, don't you get it? He's too crazy in my mind. He's not feeling enough. So I said to him, like, aren't you upset? Because aren't you furious? Like, calm down. He goes, yeah, I'm a little annoyed. At first when he said, I'm a little annoyed. I said, annoyed? Like, the word annoyed annoyed me, right? Don't you understand? That's what they did. He's like, don't you understand? I'm like, calming him down. In the middle of it all, I couldn't help. I'm a student of behavior, right? So I couldn't help but notice all three of us have had the same.
Nice. That's a pretty cool experience from Tony, just becoming aware of all the three different like behavior patterns, and he's like analyzing and seeing like what is going on. That's cool. That's cool.
Problem delivered to us, and all three of us have radically different emotional responses.
Yeah, it's like same problem, different emotional responses, and then he's like, wow, like what's the reason for this? And it's understood more about internal representations. Very good, Tony.
Okay? Why? And I'm listening, and he's going, I'm enraged, I'm furious, I'll kill the others. And I'm thinking, I'm so pissed off, I'm pissed, I'm angry. And then I'm hearing him say, I'm annoyed. I said, annoyed? I mean, that's it? He goes, well, and then he said, I'm a little tinkled. I said, tinkled? What are you talking about, right? And he's going, so in the middle of all this, I thought for a moment, I couldn't help, but I said, you know what? I don't think I've ever seen you really angry. He said, I don't really get that angry. It's very rare. I said, well, what about, he had this deal with this IRS agent came to his house. He's a very wealthy guy, right? The guy was, the IRS agent, my guess was, threatened by or upset by the level of wealth he had. And so he did some things that he eventually won. It took him 5 years to get his money back. He fought the IRS and won. It's pretty rare, right? But during those 5 years, it was brutal, anybody looking outside. I said, you're gonna tell me you were annoyed with that? He goes, no, I was peeved. I was peeved, right? And then I asked him something really interesting. I said, what do you believe about getting angry? And he goes, I believe if you get angry, the other guy wins.
You lose, yeah, 100%.
Right? And I'm like, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one, right? If you're the one that's angry, like you're the loser one, but when you have it the opposite, then you be angry all the time.
And this other guy believes if you don't get angry, when I get angry, I get powerful. And I thought, when I get angry, I get...
When I get angry, I get powerful. Yeah, a lot of people think that. They associate anger with power. Wow. That's also, one of the perpetrators of big drama.
Sharp, right? But I also thought, when I'm really happy, I get sharp. Yeah. And it changed me. I started saying, okay, I call it transformational vocabulary because the words you attach to your experience, as I said, become your experience. My mother called me one time, I'm old enough, you're probably not old enough, before we had cell phones, we had these little recorder calls, it was like on a reel, and you called in and got your calls. Well, I went to England and Europe for about, 2 weeks, and I gave my staff the time off, they didn't work their tail off. So my mom calls every day and leaves a message, doesn't get a call back, and when I called from England, the little beep thing wouldn't translate. So I didn't know what was on there, I know what's on there. I come home, and there are 10 days worth of messages, and every single message she says, I am humiliated. This is humiliating. My son is not the president of the United States. It's the most humiliating experience of my life. And as I'm listening to this going, my mom is always humiliated.
Yeah.
Do you know why? If there's a funnel of experience and it's painful,
yeah,
he's going annoyed, peeved, I'm going pissed off, and he's going, I'm going to kill him, right? Yeah. My mom always uses the word for anything uncomfortable for humiliated, so she's always humiliated.
Wow, interesting, yeah. Her mother, for anything that happened, she used that word, being humiliated. And so that was her experience. And so, of course, yes, the power of words.
So, I'm never depressed. I was so depressed when I got chased out of my house and I had no money in the background. I lived in this place of depression. I remember reading this book by Claudia Bristol. It's called The Magic of Believing. And I read the book and it talked about how to condition your mind. And one thing I did, I wrote on soap on the mirror, I wrote, only a loser is depressed, which isn't true. You can be a winner and be depressed and feel that way. But I knew I wasn't a loser. That was my leverage. Yeah. And I literally took the word depression out of my vocabulary. I've never used it again. I felt down, I felt pissed off, I felt frustrated, I felt sad, I felt overwhelmed in moments. I never felt depressed. Because when I was depressed, I got to the point where I was questioning whether it's worth it all. You know what I mean? And
wow. Yep. See, they both also connect on the fact that they both experience depression and that apathy of like, wow, what's even worth it? Because of course, they have both achieved so much that they have understood the aspect of Ecclesiastes, vanity of vanities, all this vanity, a chasing after the wind. And this is from Solomon, who is worth, trillions of dollars that these guys haven't even achieved, and had so much under his dominion and did so much, including having freaking, trees and proverbs and songs. Oh man, they're getting that aspect of vanity of vanities. That's what has caused depression to these guys, that apathy for not knowing Jesus Christ.
And so your words shape your psychology. And so a few word changes, as stupid as that sounds, as overly simplistic as that sounds, or people give metaphors. They'll say, oh man, I'm at the end of my rope. And I'll go, well, set it down and come over here. What are you talking about? We hypnotize ourselves. Or somebody will say, well, that person stabbed me in the back, and I'll walk up to him and I'll lean them behind their back. I said, I don't see anything. And you know what I mean? No, I don't. Yeah. Well, they betrayed me. Well, what did they do? And you dig in, they go, they told someone else something they said they wouldn't tell them. Right. But the words escalated the emotion. And once they're there as a metaphor or as words, they control us. I invite every business person.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yep, because once you understand certain metaphors, they control us. That's why Jesus spoke in parables and in metaphors, like, all the time.
To notice this. I remember, I decided to get a divorce when I was 40 or 39 years old. And I didn't want a divorce. I had 4 fathers. I was going to stay no matter what, duty, all those things. That was things that were good for me, right? And then I remember going to my friend Peter Guber, and I was like, I don't know. I can't imagine doing this. And then I said, I'm going to give her more than half, and I want to take care of her. But the whole part of starting over again. Starting over. And he grabbed me by the arm, and he goes, I'm going to teach you what you taught me for the last 10 years. He goes, you are not starting over. That language is putting you in this place. He said, you couldn't possibly start over. He said, you can take everything from you. No one can take the man you become, the knowledge you have, the skill you have, the relationships you have, all those things. But starting over was my trance for being in pain. And when I stopped doing that...
Wow. Yep, he thought he had to start over and that he was in so much pain because he had lost it all. But it was just in that trance state that he was on. It's interesting he even recognizes that, but it's sad he doesn't recognize that he's still under a specific trance too. And until the light of Christ penetrates his whole being, then the scales will fall off his eyes.
It's like, no, very fresh. I know that sounds simplistic, but linguistics change how the brain functions. And so part of yours is some simple linguistics, but the other part is state. Because anabolic, Alex, I gotta understand.
I love how everybody's like, wow, like this is such a insane thing that your words have power. And it's like, even Proverbs already said it like a long time ago. Life and death are in the power of the tongue.
He shows up, all we gotta do, so all you gotta do is say, it's time for anabolic Alex here, and then a moonshot that's gonna wake you up and you get emotionally so like if I just provided all this, when I first met people, I would go there in a t-shirt and jeans, that's how they acknowledge me, but so I could see and feel the impact as opposed to I wrote a check or I did some good work or they did it. The more connected you are, and that once you get in the habit of that, like people say all the time, doesn't it get old? People come to you 10, 15 times a day, tell you change my life. No, it's one of the things I enjoy most besides my family, but it's because I've trained myself never to take it for granted. Right? Is that helpful at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. He's trained himself not to ever take something for granted, but when you let Christ rule your life and he rules your heart, he does it for you. So a lot of these guys and women have trained so much, done so much work, and then they wonder why they're not fulfilled. And it's like they are still under the works of the law. We're not justified by works. Like this is why Galatians was written.
From the...
Stay in anabolic Alex. You go back to the brain. So I'm happy you got a very smart brain. We can use...
He interrupted him. He was going to go back to his mind, like his attention body was going to go to his mental body, and he interrupted him from that. And he went back to anabolic Alex.
Him too. But let's try with anabolic Alex as best.
So in order to create the emotional connection, because that is the thing that I probably have struggled the most from, but I think it's made me disproportionately successful.
So I'm happy you got a very smart brain. We can use him too. But let's try with anabolic Alex as you ask.
So in order to create the emotional connection, because that is the thing that I probably have struggled the most from, but I think it's made me disproportionately successful from a business perspective because I can make good calls, right? Yeah. But I remember the first time I wrote $1 million check.
Yeah, it's so interesting. He's learned to numb down his emotional body to make certain decisions in business that have resulted in success, that he has now put the emotional body as a very low priority, and he needs to learn how to value it more. So interesting, the growth process, my friends.
Multiple $1 million checks to charities, and I was just like, okay, I feel a couple $1 million poorer. That's about it.
Yeah, so crazy. It's like he wrote millions of dollars to a charity, but he didn't know how to connect emotionally to it, and he felt nothing. He's like, well, I'm just, a few $1 million, less.
Because you're not emotionally associated anyway.
Zero. But I did the tours of the school, and I was like, I'm glad.
Yeah, what he's missing is the love of Christ, because the love of Christ is what gives us love, joy, peace, kindness, right? He needs kindness, goodness, mercy, right? These things are a fruit of the Holy Spirit. You can manufacture them. You can train your way to them. This is the fruit of the Holy Spirit.
That this
all, I found the thing. Just contribution for contribution is not what I'm talking about.
And this is where I wanted to get. So my last little word of the ones, we covered most of them, was opportunity.
Yes.
And so I think the question that I have is, you have unlimited opportunities.
Yeah.
More opportunities than you can sink your teeth.
If you want to look clever, read books. If you want to actually be smart and take the leadership, train your memory.
Into.
Yeah.